How are you really feeling?
Fucking excellent!
Yeah, I think we're on live stream, so, but yes. That's great, I'm feeling that way too. Okay, we're taking a minute because like, I'm actually here, actually on this stage. So like, this feels good. Okay. My name is Ross Dixon, and I would like to be your MCP. So, for the next 10 minutes, what are we going to do? I'm going to tell you a bit about myself, where I come from. Then I'm going to talk about where I see Canada going in the next year and in the next 5 years. And then I'm going to end with a little request from you guys, an ask for the whole election process. Is that cool? Pour les francophones, mon discours sera en anglais parce que je ne peux pas m'expliquer bien en français. Si vous avez des questions, nous pouvons parler après le discours. C'est bon? All right. So who am I? Some of you may know me. I was MCVP marketing for the previous MC term. That means this year I worked for the summer peak. Now I am MCVP, OGCVP in Mexico. Loving it. It's really challenging and wonderful, so I'm having a great time. And in all my time in AIESEC Canada, I've seen this organization for 4 or 5 years, maybe longer, grow and do great things. And that's kind of informed my vision. So as some of you know, my vision is dare yourself, dare your country. Click. En français, relève tes défis, relève les défis de ton pays. And this comes in 2 parts. Dare yourself is a challenge for every single member to be ambitious and change people's lives. Dare your country is for us to think beyond AIESEC. Think about our communities, our society, and what we're actually contributing to the world. So first I'm going to tell you a bit about me when I was a member and how I dared myself. Click. So I joined AIESEC Toronto. Woo! In 2010, and then I was VP Marketing in 2012. And the year was wonderful. It was the first time I was leading anyone. I was terrible. And then I got pretty good near the end. And I felt really good. I had 3 teams. I had 3 directors. They all applied for VP. I had like 9 members. They all applied for director. I was super happy. And I really learned how to communicate well with people. I dared myself and I got skills. And then the next year, I went on exchange to Brazil. I did my GIP teaching in Brazil. Woo, Brazil. For 6 months. But when I got there, the conversations with the AIESECers were radically different. I got there, and like, oh cool, you're VP. Like, oh, how many people did you match? It's like, oh no, I'm marketing. We don't do that. Okay, how many leads did you get? How many of those became EPs? I was like, oh, I have no idea. I didn't get that many leads. I have no idea if they want an exchange. And they're like, oh, how about your teams? What did they do? And the more they asked, the more I realized their question was, how many people's lives did you change? My answer was 0. And even though I felt really good in my VP term, I had 3 teams, 12 members, and we changed 0 lives. Maybe some of those leads became EPs, but I didn't track that. And so I was daring myself, but it was without a purpose. I was doing all the work, putting in all this effort, but I wasn't clear about what I was doing or why I was doing it. And in Brazil, for the first time, I saw members saying like, I'm doing OGCVP because when these EPs come back, their mind is blown and they have a totally new perspective. I'm doing IGIP because the companies love their interns and they're changing my society, my community here in Brazil. And that's the power of AIESEC. It is relevant for every country, and it literally changes lives. And that's something that for me was like a click. You guys know the like aha moment in AIESEC? Like, oh, this is AIESEC. Okay. So I had that in Brazil. And that leads to the second part of Dare Your Country. Click. Yeah, that's Canada. So after that, I got really motivated and I applied for MC because I wanted to improve Canada like never before. And if you guys know, for the past 5 years, AIESEC internationally has been working for a 5-year plan, AIESEC 2015. And as part of that plan, we wanted to do 1 million experiences. And so for the past 4 years, every country in AIESEC has been growing 40%, 50%, 60% every single year in realizations. And that kind of growth, for a lot of countries, is just a necessity. Because if we want to achieve our vision, who knows our vision? Peace and fulfillment of humankind's potential? Yeah. We need to engage every single young person in the world. And to truly do that, we need to grow. So growth is not this like great success. Growth is a minimum. It's just what we have to do. And I'm working in Mexico right now. They grow 50% every single year. And so thinking, why doesn't Canada do this? And yeah, we're on the right track. For the past years, we've grown 4%, 10%. In my MC term, we grew 26%, very proud. Next MC term, even more. But why can't we reach like that next level? Hashtag next level. But the more I thought about it, we are doing that. You guys in this room have grown 50, 100, 200% this year. UBC, Western, Concordia, Manitoba, Halifax. I looked at all your numbers. You guys are rocking it and killing it. So clearly it's happening in every city, in different regions, in different languages. We're growing because we care, and we're doing AIESEC the right way. Now, then the question for me became, how do we do that together as a country, as an entity towards one strategic direction? How do we grow to get to that next level of 50, 60% as Canada, not just my LC? And that's what really informed my vision of Dare Yourself, Dare Your Country. Daring every member to get meaningful results and doing it for Canada. Or whatever issue you care about. Personally, I study the environment, like that's my stuff, I love it. That's an issue I care about. But we're a diverse country with diverse needs. So whatever you care about, as long as you care, AIESEC can fit that. And so that's informed my strategies as MCP. Click. So if you read my application, I have 3 drivers. And I think these are the key things that we need to do if we want to grow as Canada. First one is operations first. That means really making every member connect to AIESEC through matching. So straight up, putting 70 or 80% of our members in front office. Front office means exchange. OJIP, OGCDP, IJIP. Currently we're like at 55, 60%. I looked up the number before. And really, this will push everyone to actually connect with AIESEC. And with that comes a lot of education. So, having like cool PowerPoints, videos, enabling members to empower themselves to learn how to do exchange and how to actually grow. Next is market expansion. So that means opening ourselves to colleges. Colleges are 40% of our post-secondary students in Canada. It's this huge market of people who have a great need for AIESEC, because all Canadian youth do. And I really think we need to actually proactively go out and reach them. And the other side is graduated students. Personally, I got a lot of friends that graduated, can't find jobs. It's like not the best market. But OJIP is super purposeful in giving them the skills they need and actually addressing our high youth unemployment. In Canada, we have the highest youth unemployment in 20 years. It's actually a huge crisis right now that the government is trying to address. And the last one is caring leaders, or des leaders attentionnés. And this is my favorite one, it's like, I think the support for all of them. And this really means having intense, meaningful team experiences. Empowering our team leaders to actually know and feel confident in leading a team. Empowering our members to achieve a result as a team. Fighting that battle. When I talk to people, even here, like, I remember talking to someone from, like, Manitoba, I love Toba. This whole year was a battle. They were fighting for results and they got it. They grew technically infinity %. So that kind of feeling of getting results as a team and knowing you're changing your country, that's just a beautiful thing. And that's what I want through the drivers, specifically through improving TM, to have those team experiences. So that's me, that's where I come from. That's why I love Canada so much. That's why I came back after, like, I'm chilling in Mexico. Like, I'm not on a beach or anything, but it's lots of fun. And those are my specific strategies to get there. So for the last part, I want to have an ask for you. Click. So throughout this whole election process, I'd like to ask you to think about Canada first. And what that means is imagine in 20 years, what kind of society do you want for your city, your community, whatever you care about? What kind of people do you want in power? What kind of people do you want making those decisions? What kind of person do you want to marry? Who are those people, those leaders, and what kind of people are they? Thinking about it? It's a big question. So please think about that throughout this whole process, because at the end of the day, those are the people we're creating right now. And if we don't have that perspective of the people we're creating right now, the leaders, these are the people who are making our society a better place in 5, 10, 20 years. If we don't think about that, we're not doing our job properly. So please think about that, and for the whole process, please think about Canada or your community first. And like whatever MCP candidate you think will make those leaders, please go with that decision. And please, dare yourself, dare your country. Thank you.
Alright guys, you guys can take a seat. The next candidate should be over shortly.
Was it because he didn't have a French PowerPoint?
Yeah.
Okay, I just want to make sure. Is there somebody doing it for you?
No, there's no French PowerPoint at all.
For anyone?
Yeah. So they said just two, and I did MCP, so it's not all.
It's fine. It's fine. Don't worry.
Guys, the next MCP candidate will be Erica, and she will be here shortly.
Okay, so I'm going to go out again for the next person with the clicker.
Yep.
If I come back with it, it means you're clicking.
All right.
Okay?
Good. Yes. See, the chat is updating. I don't know anybody who's streaming. You don't have to tell me about it. I have no idea. Oh, wait. Which one's the opening? Which one's closing?
Oh, no, opening. District opening. Because closing is like a different, like, that's for date, that's for tomorrow.
Yes, Erica. So the stream is up. Okay. I don't know, like I see the sound. I don't know if time to worry about that. Is it either full version or short version? Gotcha.
Alright guys, Erica is on her way. Be ready, just a couple more minutes.
She said, yes, you can, and you can do a great job. And it was that determination in my LCP that led me to take that step outside my comfort zone and go for VP that year. I'm not going to say it was an easy year. It was fraught with difficulties. I had no idea that I would not have been able to take on some of those challenges and develop some of those skills. But how does this relate to AIESEC Canada? I believe that right now, AIESEC Canada is in a very similar place. We're standing here in our comfort zone, happy with our year-over-year growth, 26%, and it's a very beautiful growth, and we're all very happy here. But I think that we all know that if we stay inside this comfort zone, if we stay here year after year after year, we're never going to grow into the amazing things that we dream of. We will never achieve our strategic plan for 2020. And so I would like to challenge AIESEC to take that step outside their comfort zone. And I envision an AIESEC that is prepared to do that is prepared to face whatever the future might bring. And as MCP, I want to be that person who tells you every day that you can do this, and you can take that step outside your comfort zone, and you can grow something amazing. The second experience that I want to share with you guys goes with this photo. At the end of my VP mark-on term, I had a decision to make. I was 6 months away from finishing my degree, and I could have stayed in AIESEC and ran for LCP. There was only one other candidate that year, and there was a lot of pressure on the EB members to run. Instead, I made the difficult decision to leave AIESEC Saskatoon and to go on an exchange. And that exchange and that decision that I made changed everything about who I am. I followed along with that step outside my comfort zone. I spent a year in Spain, and while I was there, I was able to try new things, to gain new perspectives, and to discover my passion. And I never would have done that if I hadn't made that choice, if I hadn't taken that chance that something other than AIESEC might exist. And it leads me to this quote, which is that the choices we make and the chances we take determine our destiny. Because I discovered my passion in Spain, that passion led me back to Canada and back into that very LCP position that I had wanted 2 years before. And now that position has led me to stand here in front of you guys, fulfilling my destiny with AIESEC Canada. Now, how this one applies to AIESEC Canada, of course, is that we are perched on the edge of something amazing, like I mentioned previously. And if we make those choices to be the leaders that Canada needs, and if we take those chances on doing amazing things in AIESEC Canada, to try innovation, to be unified, to do all kinds of things that we maybe are dreaming of but never thought we could do, we will reach our destiny, and we will help AIESEC reach peace and fulfillment of humankind's potential. The third experience that I want to share with you guys. Oh, is this one? Okay, I want to go back. Thank you. And this experience was kicked off 1 year ago, almost to this very day. I was at NC in Ottawa, and I was considering applying for MCVP. And initially, throughout my entire LCP year, again, I wanted to step outside my comfort zone and try something new and do something different. And I was going to apply to AIESEC in Spain. And I was going to do something amazing and different. But at NC last year, I had the opportunity to have conversations with some of the people who I trust the most in my AIESEC life. And the opinions that they had and the things that they said actually showed me that my comfort zone wasn't even Canada. My comfort zone was maybe LCP, maybe Saskatoon, but it certainly wasn't this organization, this entity of AIESEC Canada. Because AIESEC Canada is an amazing place where you can have all kinds of opportunities if you just open your eyes and look for them. And so I applied to be MCVP for AIESEC in Canada, and here I am today. But I would not be here if it wasn't for that support network. I wouldn't be here if I hadn't talked to my friends, to my family, and even nowadays with the decisions I make to my teammates, I would not be in the same position. And through this, I believe that if you want to go far, you have to go together. There we go. Okay. If you want to go far, you have to go together. And this one applies to AIESEC Canada as well. In my vision, I an AIESEC Canada that is unified. We are ready to work together to achieve things that have never been seen before. We're ready to break down barriers and to reach those distances that we've never had the opportunity to see before. And we've seen LCs almost get there. We've seen LCs this year almost break 100 exchanges, and that has been amazing. But can you imagine what AIESEC would be like if every single LC was reaching 100 exchanges? If we could rely on each other to create those amazing experiences for people? And that's why I want to be MCP, because my strength is unity, and I want to bring AIESEC Canada together to be one organization that can achieve AIESEC 2020, that can achieve amazing things. So, my name is Erica, and I envision an AIESEC that is prepared for whatever the future will bring. And I envision a united AIESEC Canada that utilizes our passion to maximize our potential. And that's why I want to be your MCP for 2016-2017. Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, this is seat. So there's a bit of a buffer delay. Okay, so yeah.
Is it working?
Yeah, now it's better.
It's better?
Yeah.
Oh, beautiful.
Or like I can try to make the resolution higher.
Higher?
Or no.
Wouldn't that make it slower?
Yeah.
So no. Is it
Right
working?
now- yeah, I think it's
Cool, then let's do that.
Not too quiet, right? Please join me in welcoming your next candidate for MCP 1617.
Too much tequila. Hey, Isaac! What's up? How you feeling? Excellent!
I'll run a live stream again when it's stopped. Perfect. Really excited for this. Okay, cool. Oh, pardon me, there's an empty chair. So 4 years ago, there's an empty chair over there. And so 4 years ago, I was at National Congress in 2012 in Montreal. And I was seated on that chair. I was waiting, hoping, and anticipating on the speeches, thank you for it, the speeches of our candidates back then. And on that empty chair where I was seated, I had this really wild dream. That one day, I was going to be on that stage. That one day, I was going to be MCP. And although the time that it takes from that chair to this stage takes a mere 5 seconds, my quest for MCP has taken the past 4 years. But I thought to myself, who would put themselves in this position? You know, you're vulnerable, you're in front of such a wide audience where all eyes are on you and all ears are listening to what you're going to say. But I realized that the transformation from this empty chair to this stage meant that I was becoming the leader that I aspired to be. That I was a better version of myself, and that at that point in time, I was working towards something bigger than myself. And so that 4-year journey is close to ending today with me on the stage, with both of my feet, firmly planted on this ground, with a heart that is willing to serve you, the membership, with a mind that is always going to be thinking of the next steps, and with a voice that cries out, "Wake up, AIESEC Canada! Levy and Boo, wake up! It's time for us to be great. We're good, but it's time for us to be great again." Says you can use that slide. It's time for us to be great, really. So why apply? Why apply for MCP? Personally, my biggest motivation is you guys. Being MCP is not about the role, it's not about the title, and it's definitely not about the salary. But being MCP is being able to serve you. You are the boss of AIESEC in Canada, not the MCP. You guys are the ones that are going to be transforming AIESEC in Canada to the next level and beyond. And that is what makes me want to run for MCP, because I want to work for you. Because it doesn't only take one leader, it takes the whole entity. It takes everyone in this room, those that are back home watching. It takes that massive amount of people to make a change, to make the impact that we need to be and we need to get towards. But I'm also not the perfect person. I'm not the perfect person to lead this organization, and I'm going to be very honest with you. I have a lot of flaws. You know, underneath, this thick makeup and all the lashes, I have a lot of flaws. But what AIESEC needs right now is the right person. It's the right leader to take our entity forward. So how do we get there? How do we get from good to great? 2 words: accelerating impact. The more impact that we do, the more AIESEC becomes relevant. The more impact that we do, the more leaders we're able to create. The more impact we do, the more we are closer to our vision of the organization. And there are 3 components to get there. So the first one is being able to empower local committees. How do we get there? Member education. By having a clear pathway for every single member as they start their journey in AIESEC until they end, and beyond their experiences in AIESEC, is knowing that at each step they're getting something out of it. Next is our service delivery model. Literally saying which from our stakeholders should be responsible, should be accountable, should be consulted, and should be informed with every single organizational activity. That creates ownership for every single one of us. Because one mistake that one LC makes is not the LC's fault. It's AIESEC Canada's fault. And the last one is quality experience. I signed up for AIESEC to join AIESEC to have a life-changing experience. And that is something that every single leader, every single person in this room, every single person that is going to join AIESEC deserves to get. Second is living a culture of excellence. Throughout, the Q&As and with all the LCs, they always wonder, what is excellence? It's really very simple. It's really doing what is more than what is expected of you. And that really requires a culture change. Right now, 5 LCs out of the 29 are healthy. Like, what the hell are the other 24 doing? Really? That's like not even this side of the room. But that's where I step in. That's where my MC steps in. It's to provide you the support so that every single LC is healthy and is growing. And of course, tonight we'll be launching something very special, and you guys are the first people that get to do that. You guys are the ones that will set the trend and take this strat plan to its farthest that it could take. And last but not least is engaging with communities. Impact involves others. It doesn't involve you. It involves the people also outside of AIESEC, people who have never heard of AIESEC, people that are about to hear about AIESEC. So that requires government, having relations with our government, ensuring that our government does recognize us, and ensuring that we have a sustainable partnership with them. And second is youth to business. I really fundamentally believe that AIESEC is the leading youth voice to business in Canada. There's no other organization that has something very similar. So I stand for three things. I stand for empowerment, I stand for excellence, I stand for engagement. But to be very clear with you guys, I'm not going to be the easy choice. Yes, I'm very outgoing and all that, but it will take a lot of hard work, not only from my end, but from every single one of you. It will take a lot of dedication, a lot of passion, a lot of sleepless nights to get ourselves to where we need to be together. But if there's one thing for sure that I can provide you guys, is that I will try. I will try to make that change. I will jump as high as I can. I will do my best to make sure that every single one of you gets the experience you deserve, that our entity will become great. So my name is Joaquin San-Victorez. I'm ready to be your member committee president for AIESEC in Canada. Are you ready?
Yes, take a seat. Next candidate, last candidate, Catherine Carr, should be in shortly.
What? It's like a deal. I just like that. K-A-T-H-E-R, right? That's what I spelled wrong. Yeah.
We can take it, right?
Right now this No, I don't have a screwdriver. No.
Anywhere? Are you on?
Sorry. Yeah. Oh. Press some button. Shower this shit up. Can we clear up some of the
Tell them to wait 2 minutes. Or tell them to wait 2 minutes.
Generally said that last year. I'll talk. You guys do your...
slow. That's right. I'm very on the beat. No way. I've tried all three.
You want to use my data?
So I have to get it on the computer as well.
Oh, get it down the road.
Dude, like, this is around. Like, this is not...
Like, no one's using their phone as well, right? Because everyone else.
Let me just tether it to us. Tether my network. I don't know. I'll send it to you.
I got it already.
I'm just gonna tether off my phone. This is the Wi-Fi. Yeah.
They haven't been down.
Seconds, guys. 30 seconds.
So guys, it's gonna be 2 more minutes. So again, we need to make sure that
Buffer size, that's what it is. Okay.
something in the context of
Almost ready. Guys, please get up on your chairs. All right, guys, please join me in welcoming Varsity Canada 16, 17,
member committee president. So when the announcement first came out, people generally asked about 3 questions. The first one, why are you running? The second, why now and why not later? And lastly, are you nervous yet? So the first question was hard for me to answer at first. Coming back from International Congress in India this summer, I had this kind of weird buzzing feeling inside, and I wasn't really sure how to define it. At first I thought it was anger. I thought I was angry at AIESEC Canada because we weren't really measuring up to other entities. I talked to all these people from around the world, and they kept telling me that we weren't special like other entities, that we weren't doing all like a million exchanges like Colombia or Mexico. And then that feeling kind of turned to anger at everybody else. I was angry at AIESEC International because they didn't understand that what we did in AIESEC Canada was beyond just numbers, that we had more value in exchange than just results. There was actually an MCP from Mexico that made me realize that maybe this feeling wasn't anger, but it was something else. I had asked him why he thought Mexico was so great, what it was like to work in the MC, and he said instantly that it was the best. That the culture and the people there were amazing, that the members were solution-oriented and fast, and did things without questioning them, and that they were so very, very successful. And so, being Canadian, my mind kind of jumped to this idea of, wow, show some humility to why don't you? Be humble. And I had to stop and wait and think like, wait, Cap, what the hell did you just think? Because he wasn't wrong. Those are the things that are great about Mexico. And AIESEC International had even told them that that was amazing about them. So I thought, what was it? Was it just that Latin America was better at AIESEC, and that's why they thought they were the best? But then I realized maybe it was the opposite. Because the difference between AIESEC Canada and AIESEC Mexico is nothing tangible. It's not that we don't have the means here to go on exchange, it's not that we don't have the money or the opportunities. It's not that our companies don't have the funds or don't have the right mindset. It's not that we don't have the right people in the organization, because we see time and time again, AIESEC Canadians go on to do AIESEC internationally and MC abroad and AIESEC international. So what was it? It comes down to this idea that when I had that conversation with him, that first thought that came into my head. Because in Canada, we believe that humility and kindness trumps all. That we would rather grow slowly and silently, with no risk of failure, than greatly and loudly, with some risk. So AIESEC Canada, oops. My solution is this. Let's get loud. Let's be an entity that is proud of who we are and unafraid of failure. Let's take on challenges and opportunities because we are so unafraid of the risks that we are okay with being a little innovative, even if we fall. Let's get away from the mindset that our parents gave us and be proud and be loud of who we are. A lot of people might say that the society is just like this and AIESEC can't change this, and Canada, this is who we are. But I call bullshit. Because AIESECers are the people that change this shit. We are the leaders of tomorrow, and so why can't we show Canada what it's like to be proud? What it's like to be innovators in this world. So AIESEC Canada, let's get loud. To the next question, I get asked this a lot. Why am I running now and not a year from now, when I might have an MC experience under my belt? And this question, I never really thought of a problem until I actually got announced that I was running. Because to me, there's not a huge difference in any position in AIESEC. Because positions in AIESEC are just titles. They have nothing to do with who we are as leaders, because every single person in this room is a leader in their own right. But most of all, because I was with you guys on a local level every single day of this year. I was there when Expo came in, and we all had to freak out trying to figure that out. I was there when the AIESEC 2020 launch happened in India, with the other LCPs and with the MC. And I was there when we were actually announced the new strategic plan. And that means I am prepared to know what it's like to live in the local level when we have so many changes coming in. And I'm not going to forget that when I go on the MC. But most of all, I know what it's like to have the importance of a strategic plan. I've seen in the past few years that we've had many strategic plans that haven't worked out. I think it really comes down to the first year. Because 2016-2017 is crucial for having a 5-year plan be successful. Because if we don't have a good start then, we won't ever have it be, and we won't ever survive. So I'm coming into this election with 3 things. The first, leveraging conferences as a catalyst. The second, partnerships with the government. And the last, reliable enablement capabilities. And I want to be clear here, I'm not coming to this election with any new ideas. I'm not coming here with a 12-step program that's going to solve all of our problems, because it's just not realistic. But most of all, because if we go into the strategic plan thinking that we also need to have a focus for our year, and also have a new strategy, and also have a 12-step program, we're never going to get the strategic plan done. So every single one of my focuses and my priorities are from the strategic plan. Because when I talk about leveraging conferences as a catalyst, I'm not just talking about creating new content, I'm talking about breaking the mold of what a conference is. I'm talking about having LCs define their own content, but letting members have a more relevant capacity within a national conference. I'm talking about creating a team member education cycle that aligns with the content of every single conference throughout the year and where everyone needs to be. When I talk about partnerships with the government, I'm not just talking about having a conversation, I'm talking about starting it. Because Trudeau's government has just decided to invest millions and millions of dollars into tech, so why aren't we investing into that too? Because we could have national partners that are aligned with the growth industries that the government is investing in. Because we could show them that our ICX sub-products align with them, they align with. We could have OGIP focuses that show that we develop Canadian students in the way that they want to see them done. And that would change the conversation. When I talk about reliable enablement capabilities and our IT platforms, I'm not just talking about a new EP Online, although that's going to be badass. But I'm talking about really aligning that with Expa, about integrating that into that platform along with Salesforce. But really creating that roadmap and that plan that we can translate and keep transparent across the national plenary. Because we know what happens when no one knows what's going on. So really making sure at least we have a plan A, B, C, and D for going into that process. For the last question, am I nervous? The answer is no. I know people look at me really weird when I answer that way, because I'm supposed to be freaking out or something right now, but at the end of the day, I just say, why should I be? My older brother gave me some really good advice a few days ago. He said, you need to be the absolute best that you can be and believe that you're the best. And go out there and not let anyone stop you. And I probably didn't take this exactly how he intended it, but The way I see it is that if I come on this stage and I leave everything out here, if I'm the most authentic person I can be, and I'm just myself and not trying to be anyone else, if I swear a little, because I know I do a lot, then I know that I am successful in my own right. In AIESEC, we ask a lot why you joined AIESEC, and I hate this question because it frustrates me so much because I have no clue how to answer it. Because there was no one that came up to me and said, you should join AIESEC, it's really cool. There wasn't a poster that attracted me to it. At the end of the day, I've always known what AIESEC is. Since birth, my parents have been telling this love story about that they met in AIESEC. That some of my aunts and uncles, I call aunt and uncle, or they're really friends, my parents met in AIESEC. And at the end of the day, the experiences I've had and the values I have came from AIESEC. So AIESEC means something more to me. And there's a quote that I really like, that really stands out to me, and it's AIESEC doesn't belong to AIESECers, it belongs to the world. So at the end of the day, I want to be a person that stands up on this stage every day and reminds you guys of what AIESEC can be, because I've experienced that through my entire life. I am the impact that we can make and the impact this organization makes. I want to be the person that reminds us to be loud and to be proud, but also to grow without fear. And I want to be the person to remind us how important the strategic plan is and make sure we actually see it through. So AIESEC Canada, my name is Catherine Carr. Let's get loud, and thank you very much.